My name is Taz Crumpler, and I am the president of Gravity Roofing right here in Orlando, Florida. So we actually kind of stumbled upon Contractor Dynamics last year before RoofCon. They hosted a marketing workshop, and our local beacon supplier rep hit us up and said they had some tickets to give away, and we said, sure, we'll check it out. It's our first year in business. And so we went by there and got to meet and listen to Joe and the entire team over there, Elizabeth, Sydney, and then they all broke out into these like little Alcoholics Anonymous groups and had us go around and introduce ourselves and kind of just speak up. And they all had different themes that they were talking about, so you kind of got to pick. But by the end of the workshop, I still really didn't know what Contractor Dynamics was offering, because they weren't sitting here and like selling their services. And even once talking with Joe and letting him know, hey, so what is it that you guys do? Because what we got out of it was something that was so much greater than their actual services. It was really finding out about EOS, and it resonated with us so much because at that time, we were literally dealing with accountability issues and, you know, wearing all the hats in the company. So we ended up getting on board with EOS. It was the only thing we ended up pulling the trigger on at that RoofCon event the following day. And it was an absolute game changer for our business. And Contractor Dynamics was gracious enough to be putting out these recommendations on how they run their business and how they know is a successful way to run a business. A lot of us contractors are not, you know, college graduates in business degrees, right? So the EOS program, just being an absolute game changer, allowed us to get to the point to where we ended up reaching out to them, asking to come on board with their services after being more clear and clarified on the services that they do offer. And just seeing the value in it and seeing the genuineness. And unfortunately, there's a lot of fake gurus in our industry. So sometimes it's really hard to know who to trust and who to sign up with, because as a roofing business owner, it's just like opportunity being like solicited at you left and right and left and right and left and right. And so trying to weed it out. But the one thing that turns me off is when you're constantly breathing down my neck after I've already discovered you and have learned about you, and that was not the case. It was more of a friendly approach, more of a how can I help you approach, not come on board. They understood when I told them that I just simply wasn't ready for their services yet. But as they can attest, when I was ready, I reached right out and we got it done. Hopped on a call with Elizabeth. She's phenomenal. And now we have brought our marketing in-house. You know, that first RoofCon that last year, we were using a marketing agency and just kind of spraying and praying like Joe always says. And it worked for us for that time, but we got to the point where we needed more control over our marketing, and we now have that thanks to the wonderful team at Contractor Dynamics giving us that nudge and that push towards doing so and making it happen, and having the course to put the marketing manager through was huge, because it was kind of hard to make that big shift without having something to know you could put them through the training if they weren't quite 100% knowledgeable. Like our marketing manager wasn't quite a roofing marketing manager. He had tons of marketing experience, but in a different realm. So it was cool to just put him through the CD course and just bring him up to speed on how marketing should work in our industry. And it's great to be not even 2 years in business and have already exceeded over, I believe, 9 million in sales so far. So we wanted to hit 5 this year, and thanks to a juicy storm, we might end up actually doing that. but still super pumped, and our phone is ringing off the hook. Our brand is growing, and yeah, just super grateful for Contractor Dynamics, not even just their own services that they provide, but the services that they gear you towards, just because they know it's going to benefit your business, even if it doesn't benefit them directly financially. So thank you to Contractor Dynamics, Joe, Elizabeth, Sydney, the whole team. You guys are awesome. It's really nice to have the Arena Mastermind group, because as an owner, sometimes we kind of feel like we're on an island and there's not a lot of people that we can just talk to that have the similar problems and are looking for similar solutions like we are. And the Arena Mastermind group, although I wish I had even more time to attend them all, it's because I'm so busy, thanks to the efforts of the other departments keeping me busy. But I know I can always jump in the chat if I'm struggling with something that I feel one of the many other owners that are available to reach out to probably has some insight or has experienced a similar problem. And it's just great to know that that group is there when needed and if needed, and super helpful with higher level solutions and saving time. I mean, you could go down a rabbit hole trying to figure out this solution on yourself, or I can pop into this group chat and just plug my question to, what is it, over 100 other roofing company owners that have the exact same problem and have already solved it, and save me the time and efforts and get us working smarter and not harder. So absolutely, yeah. And it's genuine. That's the one thing. I see it tried to be duplicated, not to the exact extent, but just in the industry as a whole, and there's just that lack of sincereness that just is missing, and it's hard to buy in when you know they're not 100% out there for the best interest in you and your company. And it just really seems that way with the entire CD team. So if I was to recommend CD to anybody, it would be roofing company owners, obviously, right? But definitely ones that want to get control over their marketing and realize how important marketing is, because I did lead gen myself for a very long time for a company that was focused on just new business. They didn't get returning business, and that's probably due to some other back-end customer service stuff. So they're constantly spending money on leads, and just realizing and understanding, if you're not trying to do that forever and you can build a brand, that brand can produce leads for much more longevity, better quality leads, and you can also not have to get into bidding wars with your competitors, because a brand sells, it's already sold, right? You look at the Costco's, there's not even a sign outside of Costco, right? Tesla, I bought a Tesla, I didn't deal with a salesman, I did it myself through the app because I was already sold because of the brand. They don't have to try to price match with, you know, their competitors, because they built a brand that is pretty much bulletproof for forever, right? Look at Nikes and all these other ones. So it seems so obvious and like common sense when you finally like let the light bulb go off, and it takes, honestly, it shouldn't even take people like Joe and Elizabeth and them. It should be more common sense, but unfortunately it's not, and it wasn't for myself until it's kind of dumbed down right in front of you, like, hey, just take control of your brand, right? Don't leave it in the hands of the marketing agencies that will definitely not take care of it the way you would.